What's up guys, CyberHoudini here and welcome back to your daily dose of gaming. It is the 4th of June. Jesus Christ, we're already making our way through June, but you know what that means? We are just 1 week away from the E3 2021 celebrations. Super exciting times. This is Christmas for gamers, and let me tell you, things are heating up. There's a lot of little rumors flying around, a lot of pre-E3 announcements. Everybody's but it's super exciting for sure. Like we're gonna be kicking things off on the 10th, I believe. I'm gonna be bringing it all live as much as I can. It's gonna be taking place. Yeah, the 10th is Thursday, but it's basically gonna be like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Nintendo usually closes out the celebrations, but kicking it off this year will be Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest with hopefully some celebrity cameos, I suppose. Well, celebrity guests. I'm excited. Hell yeah. I feel like this is it's not only like the first kind of year of E3 that's going to be like fully digital. It's also like the year that all these developers and everybody around the world is finally getting a chance to see the light at the end of the tunnel with all this pandemic, you know? So I feel like it's their time to shine. It's their time to really flex those creative muscles. I know Sony have already been a little bit, you know, shy showing off things. So they've gotten a lot of their announcements out of the way in terms of like delays and that, but yeah, still very, very exciting times. The thing about rumors is they're always a double-edged sword, because you're like, do you want to read them, do you want to spoil things? Maybe it'll never happen, so you'll kind of be a little bit downhearted, but it's a funny one. Alright, let's kick things off with a possible rumor of a new Borderlands spin-off game with Tiny Tina as the main character. It looks like it's going to be called like Wonderlands, Tiny Tina Wonderlands, or Borderlands. I don't know, because like you've got Borderlands there. This is something I think everybody has kind of wanted ever since she had her DLC back in the day, you know, and then she came back in 3 and that was really cool as well. But she has been a fan favorite character for many years, in terms of, you know, cosplay, just everything that there is that she's got going on, you know. I think even when the Borderlands movie happens, which seems to be getting closer and closer, all eyes will definitely be on Tiny Tina. She's a crazy one. She likes explosions. She likes Dungeons and Dragons. So this will be funny, you know. Instead of like Alice in Wonderland, it's going to be Tiny Tina in Wonderland. Yeah, so we'll see if that happens. 2K have kind of tried to temper expectations as well. I see a lot of the big developers doing that. It's like, hey, this is going to be a small thing, so don't get your hopes up too much. Like even Deep Silver come out and said that they probably won't have Saints Row and Dead Island at E3. But here's the thing, by announcing that they're not going to have this stuff, you know, wait for later, kind of confirms that they're working on it, you know what I mean? Like, I know it's such a silly way of putting it, but you gotta understand, most of these rumors and most of these developers, nothing is ever set in stone until it's revealed, you know? So when you get this little bit of information, you know, no matter how little it is, I know we overanalyze everything, but sometimes that's all you've got to go on. Ah, crap, I didn't close my blind properly. It's about to get very bright in here. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I think, as far as I can tell, they've talked about being able to play as multiple characters. So maybe it'll be just more of a like fleshed out story, you know, with Tiny Tina, like that Dungeons and Dragons DLC, which was absolutely amazing. You know me, like when it comes to spin-off games, we did have the prequel, the Borderlands prequel, which a lot of people were kind of like very mixed on. I don't know what it is about these side games or where they just get a bad rap. Like look at we got Borderlands pre-sequel, then you had like Bioshock 2, which I love. I'm replaying it now, which is super cool for the 10-year anniversary. Arkham, you know, Origins, Batman Arkham Origins they just get really bad raps because they're not done by the main team, and I think that's a little unfair. You know, sometimes when you've got those fantastic building blocks, why not make other games? I know it's all money at the end of the day, but it's tough waiting 5 years for a new game in a series, you know, for sure. And that was like, if you look at Arkham City to Arkham Knight, there was a huge gap there, you know. And look what goes on with GTA now. There was a time when I was growing up playing GTAs that you'd get one every year through, like, without fail, and then it was spin-off games on top of that. So now we're like, I don't know, we're coming up on 8 years since the launch of GTA 3. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not even just pulling that out of my ass. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. 2K seem to be bringing a lot to the table. They own, obviously, a lot of the sports series, but they also own, it's owned by Take-Two, so they own, like, Rockstar as well, and they own a lot of stuff. Borderlands, Bioshock, the Mafia series, so who knows? I know Hangar 13, who are in charge of the Mafia series, are working on something good, so we'll see about that. How's it going? Dynamite! I swear to God, as soon as I start streaming, the sun comes out. Goddamn. Yeah, we're just talking about a cheeky little, probably like a spin-off game for Tiny Tina in the Borderlands universe. Could be really cool. Happy Friday, man. Happy Friday, my English brother. How are you doing? GG's on that stream, man. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It seems like you're happy over there, so whatever you want to do, we support you. Oh yes. So earlier in the week, I was talking about this crazy Among Us McChickadugget that was actually selling for 34 grand. Well, the auction ended and it went for $100,000. What the hell? Like, who? I swear to God, if it was bought by someone like Mr. Beast or one of these big Twitch streamers, which that's the only people I can think that would want to buy this for content, you know, because it's not gonna last. Like, there's a picture of it in a Ziploc bag. That ain't gonna keep it fresh. It's already cooked. I don't know. It's a funny one. You buy stuff for auction like this, I can understand if it's a non-perishable item, you know. You can have it forever. But this McNugget's about to get McFurry very soon. But I still think that's funny. Alright, cool. So yeah, I thought I'd bring that up because sometimes I love the weird and wonderful stories of you know, the games. I know it's like McDonald's, but you know, it's still kind of games media in a way, if you want to call it that. Alright, cool. This was a nice little hint. Things are definitely heating up for the Battlefield 6 announcement, which is probably going to be just called Battlefield. It seems like a lot of big content creators, especially Battlefield-focused ones, are now getting very mysterious tweets and messages sent to them. You've got people like Jack Frags, who has been like the Battlefield king for, you know, a huge chunk of his life and YouTube in general. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited for this one. I think it's really time for Battlefield to shine. They've had a long time. They've seen, hopefully, how things are kind of slowing down a little bit in terms of Call of Duty. You know, besides Warzone, you know. I think if Warzone was to split off on its own tomorrow, I don't think people would be too pissed. You'd miss zombies, but it's clear that zombies, even with the newest one being pretty cool, it's just a rehash. They've really just scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point. They're trying to recapture stuff from 10 years ago, and it's not the same. They'll just keep doing Black Ops into Infinite. I actually said that they should do that, to split off Black Ops, because calling it Black Ops, Call of Duty Black Ops 5 Cold War, this huge giant subtitle is ridiculous. They should keep doing the Call of Duty games and just call Black Ops, you know, and that'll allow them to just to keep going with that, because I feel like they're fans of Black Ops. They're not generally fans of any of the other Call of Duty games. Like, I've seen so many people just like, oh, I'm back playing Black Ops, I'm back playing Black Ops, even going back as far as the old Black Ops games. So you can tell, and there's nothing wrong with that at all, you know. You like what you like, whatever's comfortable for you. But I think that would be a good idea for them, and it would kind of move them away from this constant kind of rehash of Call of Duty that's going on. You know, fucking Activision, it'd probably give them an excuse to put out 2 games a year, then you'd have Black Ops and then a Call of Duty game. Anyway, so yeah, we'll see. I think the 9th of June, I believe, is when the big EA want to show off the big announcement for Battlefield. That's technically right before E3, so yeah, they'll do their own thing. It wouldn't really be anything worth streaming for me, but you know, it's just gonna be a big blowout of information, a nice trailer and that. But the 10th, the following day, which is I do believe it's next Thursday. Yeah, it makes sense. That is when everything's gonna kick off. I'm just gonna try and I'll be for this week. I'll be doing yeah. So we're at the end of this week. So from this Monday, I'll be doing a Ratchet and Clank 2016 playthrough, just getting in time for the Friday, which Friday the 11th will be Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which I have pre-ordered. Let's hope it comes in time. Jesus Christ, it's been so rough lately, but that'll be fun. But I'll also coincide with a little bit of a E3 prediction stream as well, which I like to do every year. Just a cheeky little stream. We'll also talk about the schedule as well. So don't worry, you guys will definitely be in the know. If you're a little bit worried like I am, things are kind of scrambled together. It's a lot of information over the course of almost 6 days, you know. And it'll also mean I will be doing some nice streams over the course of the weekend as well. So yeah, I will wrap it all together. I'll probably go over it at the weekend myself, just to try and tie everything together. It'll be a lot of fun. E3 is one of my favorite times of the year, every year. I can't wait. I love getting like all the overlays. I like getting everything together. Just all the speculations. It's awesome. Hello, how's it going, Bernie? Can't wait for E3. Yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of it. Super fun. Like, this year, I feel like I said, it's going to be like extra special because they're all just waiting to share their news. But anyway, yeah, sorry for anyone who wants to actually look at the tweet. It seems to be just a jarbled message. Jarbled. They all seem to be getting it now. I think this actually leaked a while back, this weird little message. There you go. Yeah, we'll see how the story is. This is, yeah, I think it's clear that they're probably just going to call it Battlefield at this point. A lot of them want to move away from the numbers on their games because it just looks bad on the shelf. There's something about storms in this one as well. You could see it even in the concept art that I showed a couple of weeks back. I hope you guys are having a great Friday. Any plans for the weekend? You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for coming in, hanging with me. Appreciate it. Alright. Yeah, Bernie, you'd be happy to hear about maybe a Tiny Tina spin-off Borderlands game. Hell yes. There's a massive sale on PlayStation Indies going on right now. It's huge. Over 100 games, I'd say. Something else. So many games. I just put them all on my wish list. But yeah, fantastic sale. Look at that laundry list right there. My goodness. There's something in there for everybody. So if you've been waiting for a particular indie game, now is the time. Now is the time. Some great sales. I've seen a couple of games. They're dropped nearly like fucking 80%, you know. There's even a couple they're down to like $2. Now most of my indie games I try not to overly buy because of Game Pass. But I mean, if you're on PlayStation, you don't have Game Pass. So this is the next best thing, and it's a great thing to see as well. So I'm always, if I'm gonna double dip, I usually wait for a sale. But yeah, I will definitely pick up some for sure. There's a lot of PlayStation exclusive indies as well. So fuck yeah, get in there. Probably gonna play some more Far Cry 5. Far Cry? Hell yeah. Hell yes. Let's see what we got here. We can cancel out of that. Yeah, the Among Us Chicken McNugget, we did that one. Alright, cool. This was an awesome little piece of news that dropped. Apparently, Jeff Goldblum himself, the suave motherfucker, is going to be turning up at Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest. We'll see if this actually comes true. He's, you know, Jeff Keighley, like, he doesn't need no introduction. This guy has been around the block for a long time. And I feel like even if some of his roles aren't as big anymore, I feel like he lives on in, what to call that? They live on in fucking infinity, I suppose, for with all the memes and stuff, right? Even when their careers kind of die down a little bit, they're like, yep, just keep it going. So there's been so many like Jurassic Park memes over the years. It cracks me up. So I don't know if he will be. There's a chance that he may be like presenting a game. Maybe he'll be doing like a voice in a game. Who knows? Who knows? Jeff Keighley usually does like to go out with a big bang. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Let me double check something there. Looks like they have the dates wrong for that. But it could be right. What are you playing right now, Burns? You don't know Fall Guys? Yeah, June. It's June 10th. Alright, so this article says July 10th. That's not right. Let me double check that. I was thinking, no. Well, it's even presented by Prime Gaming, so you're going to have a lot of Twitch integration. I would definitely look out for them. Probably maybe some free game drops or DLC drops or something like that. We'll see. I can already see, like, with those PlayStation Indies going on sale, that's a good sign. We always get a big E3 sale close to the date. But I'm excited. We are less than Yeah, look, they correct themselves like 4 times. It goes from July, June. Alright, never mind. Alright, cool. Alright, on to the next little piece of news. We were talking about the 2K. A lot of stuff happening now. There's talks of a possibly new Guardians of the Galaxy game. Now, the last one we had was the Telltale story game, you know, which was still super fun, beautifully. It's probably one of the more beautiful Telltale games for sure. They do so well with the comic book stuff, like Wolf Among Us. But there's also talks of the XCOM team doing a Marvel-style game, so like a strategy XCOM Marvel game. That could be cool. Oh, Knockout City, that's the new dodgeball game, right? Hell yeah. I think they're making that free for a lot of people now, aren't they? That's super cool. That's super cool. Yeah, it's about time they did a dodgeball game. Had a lot of sports games. But yeah, that's cool. A lot of 2K stuff is leaking. People are still holding on hope for a new Bioshock announcement and a new Mafia. We know both of those games are probably coming, so I'm all good. Even if we don't get a Bioshock announcement, we know that they're working hard on it. The way I see it, like especially with the recent news of God of War Ragnarok being delayed to 2022, is that you gotta realize that most of 2020, the world was just in a massive panic, so there was not much game development going on, you know. So the fact that we got to play games like, you know, Biomutant and Resident Evil Village it's absolute miracles that they got those out in time, you know. So that's why it always pisses me off when I see people picking them apart and saying this part's rushed and this part's broken, and it just drives me up the wall. I'm like, what did you do over the last year? You grew a magnificent fucking beard and scratched your balls. But they go out of their way and critique these things. It's just so silly. So silly. Let's all just relax and be glad that we still get to play games. Be thankful for once in your godforsaken life. Alright, cool. On to the next piece of news. I thought this was an interesting time for this to pop up. But there was a survey done recently that Simpsons Hit and Run is one of the #1 games that people want. Remasters, remade, whatever they can do. And I completely agree. I think that's something that's kind of disappeared. And it sucks. We had so many great Simpsons games, and they're just all gone. All gone. We used to get Simpsons Hit and Run. Even the Simpsons video game itself was a bit of fun. It was definitely, by then you realized the quality was shifting. But it was still fun. And Simpsons Road Rage. They were super cool games. I'd like to see them all come back. Right now, because of how shitty, you know, the backwards compatibility is with PlayStation, they just handpick a few games to put on their system. There's very little, you know. The only shining grace is like emulators, which are very, very touch and go lately. You know, people are getting sued left, right, and center. And then you've got Xbox backwards compatibility, which is pretty good. But like, you try and get your hands on these games, a physical copy. You know, it's not easy. Maybe you get lucky in a bargain bucket, but you know, the likes of eBay and Amazon and that, they will string you up. But they're great games. I still have my copies over here. I have, where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh. Man, that sun needs to get the fuck out of here. Yeah, look, I have Simpsons Hit and Run. Oh, Jesus, the glare of the sun. There you go, that's a little bit better. And Simpsons Road Rage. PS2, Xbox. Like, come on. Just let me play them. Especially, like, how cool Xbox has made things with, you know, when you use backwards compatibility to give it a little kind of bump. Resolution, frame rate and that. The FPS boost stuff is great. People complain about the free games. I know, like, Jesus. Yeah, it's always the way. We've become so entitled. Oh, it's Frostpunk? Oh, fuck you. Any of the free games. Look how much people, like, rag on the PS Plus games and Xbox Gold games, you know. Even I do it, too, because, well, for me, it's like that money could be used somewhere else, you know. When it comes to Xbox Live Gold games, I mean, you could have made the multiplayer free by now. Just focus on Game Pass, for fuck's sake. If anyone's out there who has Xbox Live Gold but doesn't have Game Pass, it's just ridiculous. It's like, hey, I just want this. You get it all together for like a dirt cheap price. Hell yes. How's it going, Swampy? Hello, hello, hello. Remember when my copy of Simpsons Road Rage PS2, this fell on the floor? We don't know why, but it's split in two. That's so weird. It must have been just one of those perfect little moments where the shock, it must have landed on its edge, did it? C-Box? Hell yes. C-Box Run. Alright, this was something interesting I saw pop up, and it was a definite, like, I could see this definitely happening, but people have been saying about a cryptocurrency coming to GTA 6. No, not actually Bitcoin, and it's all in-game, of course, but you never know. You never know. I mean, they've been so crazy with the shark cards that I could see them making this a real money thing. Because, I mean, if Dogecoin can exist, why can't GTA coin? But yeah, it's pretty crazy, but it could be really cool. You already have a sort of stock market in, you know, GTA 5 and everything that's going on with GTA Online as well. Like, they have all their own stuff in there. They have different ways of earning money. They even have their own, like, drug dealings and stuff. So it's crazy how much the RP community have created their own little world. People just think it's people running around blowing each other up, but no, those servers are legit. They have their own business. It's on the carpet. Oh, that's so weird. That is weird. That's madness. It's kind of weird. Maybe I have noticed that the center of some of the old discs, the plastic in the middle past the sticker, is actually weirdly made cheaper. So you might have seen this in DVDs or your games or something, where the inside of it will start to just crack and break away like it's really brittle. But the rest of the disc is fine. It's just cheap motherfuckers. But right around, well, we're not at the end of it yet, but right when, you know, Netflix really took over and DVDs and Blu-rays just bottomed out, you could tell they were just, like, I couldn't, all the box sets started to get really cheaply made. It was horrible. There was a time when you get these super fancy, beautiful box sets. Now they're just dumped into a sleeve all together, disc over disc, and you're like, fucking hell. That's how you treat this? But yeah, just goes to show, like, they knew what was coming, and they just said try and get as much as you can. But how are you doing, Swampy? How's your Friday? What have you been playing lately, dude? Did I see you were on a vacation? I hope it went well. Nice to get away. We got a nice bit of warm weather here. It seems to be continuing into the weekend as well. Hell yes! Alright, cool. A little bit of worry going on right now with Horizon Forbidden West. I'm still convinced that it's going to get pushed into 2022. The way things are going now, it seems like Sony has basically, which in a good way, you know, it might look bad, but in a good way, they've told their developers and teams that if you need time, now is the fucking time to take it. And to them, that's probably to give enough of a breathing room for this crazy fucking stock issue to level out. So my initial thing was that we'd get Horizon Forbidden West in you know, October this year, and then God of War like April next year. But now I feel like I would probably, you know, push both of them back. I'd say like you'd be closer to getting Horizon Forbidden West in April next year, and then God of War Ragnarok fall next year. But we'll see. You know, a delay always initially has that kind of shock factor, and it sucks. But you know, we really don't want these games to come out in a bad way. So trust me, there's enough games out there. It's best just to, you know, give these devs the time. Unfortunately, there's so many people who don't see it that way. There's some horrible bastards online. And just recently, Alana Pierce, who used to work at IGN, and she's doing her own thing, Funhouse and that, she actually joined the writing team at Sony Santa Monica working on God of War. And some little prick, some little, you know, prepubescent shithead, fucking basement dweller decides to go after her personally and blame her for God of War getting delayed, and for some reason he only wants it on the PS5 as well. There's some really demented fuckers out there. Like, I'm telling you, they actually need genuine help. There's something wrong. They've been on the internet too long. To get out there, touch some grass, talk to a therapist or something, because Jesus Christ, that's scary behavior. Absolutely scary. Imagine wishing death threats on someone because your game gets delayed 6 months. You have to wait 6 months or something to play a game, or a year, or whatever. Like, what the fuck does the difference make, man? It's just time. Be glad you got some, but good God. Yeah, we went down to the coast, spent a few days on the beach. Lovely, lovely. The hell's wrong with people? I don't know. I see it everywhere. It was just so random. Like, she's a writer. She's absolutely nothing to do with anything with the game, you know? And it got so bad that, like, Cory Barlog, who is, you know, the creative lead over at Sony Santa Monica, he had to step in and was like, if you've got any fucking issues or anything to say, you direct them to me, you little bollocks. And I was like, damn. So he's a really open game director. I really actually respect that dude a lot, you know, because most game directors are a little bit holier than thou, especially Neil Druckmann over at Naughty Dog. I'm sorry, but that I call it as I see it. We obviously don't know these people, you know. They might be pretty down to earth, but some of them seem to be up on their pedestal as well. But not Corey. Corey's just like, fuck it, you know. That's what I like to see. Yeah, he does. Yeah, this is the thing, right? I know that people say violence is not the answer, but I don't know. Somebody needs, like, they need a reality check, and that really does mean a swift kick in the teeth, for sure. For sure. How's it going, Pyro? How you doing, man? Happy Friday. So yeah, so far, they have said that Horizon Forbidden West is still on track for 2021, but you know, that's like 6 months away-ish, you know. So anything can happen. Anything can happen. I think it might. I'm not too worried though. Like, either way, it looks fantastic. It's going to be an amazing game. The fact that they had to come out and mention that it's going to get a 60 frames a second mode is so stupid. This is where we are, you know, where people are just nitpicking everything. It's like, of course it's going to have a 60 frames a second mode. If any game first party releases on PS5 that doesn't have a 60 frames a second mode, there's something wrong. You need to go back to the drawing board. But this was like, I'm not 60 frames or die or anything. Like, I do think it's about time. But when you've got PCs that are around the same spec doing 240 frames a second, it's like, come on, like, for fuck's sake. So this thing of holding back where it's like 30 frames a second is a cinematic design choice is it's just not going to cut it. The issue always seems to be when they want to push for 4K, which is, you know, 4 times what 1080p is, and it's like, is that really worth it? I can't see 4 times the fucking detail. I can't even see 2 times the detail. I just want the teams to be healthy and happy with their work, because less stress means a better game for us at the end of the day. We don't have like weird abrupt endings or shoehorned minigames or weird load screen, things like that you can tell that you're cutting corners. So yeah, it's better just to have that time to wait, you know. That first impression is so important. It's weird there seems to be issues with 60. Yeah, it is weird. I don't know what's going on. Like, people are even saying, you know, in the next 3 years they'll eventually all go back to 30 frames when the graphic fidelity jumps again with Unreal Engine 5. I don't know, we'll see. I would still pick 1080 60 and any day of the week. So if that's something that has to happen, you know. But I agree with you. Like, I think everyone's just getting more comfortable with the new consoles. It's going to take a minute. They're now just zoning in on like the very cool compression feature that's going on. Not the actual game, but the game size compression. So this is where you're seeing a lot of absolutely massively sized games are getting shrunk. Some even upwards of like 60% on PS5, which is really cool. So each console has its teeth and issues. So that's why I say, like, there's no rush to run out and get one of these. Like on Xbox side, yeah, the sizes of the games are just blown out of proportion. It's silly. Whereas on the PS5, they have serious issues with VRR, where they just have very little, like, you know, that's why most of these console games now come with a VSync mode, which is something you would never see. But now we're at this issue where screen tearing is becoming like a systemic issue. So the quicker they can work on that, the better. So they both have their teeth and issues, you know. We're now coming up on them being, you know, what is it, like fucking, they're almost like 8 months out now, which is, it's pretty impressive. So we're past that launch window. They usually say the first 6 months is a launch window, but with the way things went last year and this year, I feel like the launch window feels closer to like a year now rather than 6 months. But so far, like, I'm happy enough with the console performance-wise, you know. It's really nice to go back and play some old games with all the, you know, new bells and whistles. As someone who never had a PS4 Pro, so I feel that jump. But I can understand if people are a little bit underwhelmed. I think this was the exact same thing that happened with nearly every console launch. You're kind of like, oh, okay, I played everything there is to play. Okay. You know, so it's all good. Yeah, like 7 months, absolutely, dude. It's crazy. Time is just gone out the window. Playing Mad Max with a speed boost and hitting 60. Yeah. Dude, I'm still waiting for Dying Light to get that 60. I think they've done it over on Xbox. That's super cool what they've done. That FPS boost is a genius move. Like, it doesn't, I don't want to like discourage anything, but it doesn't seem like they had to put too much effort into it, you know. There's probably a lot of stuff in the background, but it's clear that they went from, you know, doing 4 at a time, then 96 games. So it's clear they figured it out, you know, and just flipped the switch. And it's very, very impressive. Like some older games, and by older I just mean like some of them are not that old at all, you know. They're pushing 120 frames now, which is crazy. We're gonna be doing a little Biomutant after this. What do you think of Biomutant, Swampy? It's definitely got that kind of new team jank about it, you know. First game jank, like Assassin's Creed 1 and Watch Dogs 1 and all that, you know. Where it doesn't exactly leave a massive, you know, mark with you in a good way, but it's perfectly adequate. It's one of those games. Like, I was just playing Elix when I was talking about that, and it has the same vibe as Elix in a good way, you know. Nice kind of addictive combat, and a decent story, but it's not going to exactly make you walk away going wow. So you know they lack the wow factor for sure, but weirdly enough you get slightly addicted to playing them. It's kind of also like the Far Cry 4 effect, I like to call, where you'll play it because you love that kind of combat and the same, you know, the towers and all that, even though you know it's cookie cutter and it's the same shit again, but it's something that keeps you playing it. Sometimes we'll do that, we'll play games just to play them. But yeah, you can tell it's definitely a first team game, so they're working out a lot of kinks. They basically threw everything at the whiteboard, you know, and saw what would stick, you know. I've never, like, I was playing it and I just killed the first World Eater, and out of nowhere, you're in a mech, you're in a giant mech, alright, you're fighting inside. I'm like, what the hell is this? So they really did just throw everything at it, and that's good for them, you know. That's pretty impressive. But weirdly enough, Biomutant gives me like the first Jak and Daxter game vibes, where they were like figuring out what the fuck they're doing, you know, and just seeing what would happen. There's a lot of stuff that went on, and like Jak and Daxter just never ever came back. But they went. That series is definitely one of the like the puberty of video games almost, where it's like it goes from, you know, innocent platformer to angsty dark shooter. And then it's like, fuck it, it's a racing game now. Which I'm happy for, but it's so hard to have an identity like that. You're like, what is Jak and Daxter? Well, it's a platformer shooter racer. Okay. So yeah, it was a funny time. And that's kind of what's going on with Biomutant. What is Biomutant? Well, it's an open world action mech shooter. Now you're on a horse. Oh fuck, now you're a little tiny raccoon. So yeah, it's just everything going off. It's ADD, the video game. But I'm actually enjoying it. I really am. I'm enjoying it. It's definitely not going to be like Game of the Year contender or anything like that, but it doesn't need to be. It's exactly what I need right now. It's kind of like a mindless summer action game. It's exactly what I need right now. Take my mind off stuff. I'm super enjoying it. And it's actually quite pretty with the colors too. I can't deny that. It's nowhere near engrossing as like, you know, Breath of the Wild or something. And we have so many of those games as well. Like, you're going to be putting Biomutant up against Breath of the Wild, Genshin Impact, Immortals, Phoenix Rising, like the list goes on and on and on. So it's tough, right? It's tough to exactly kind of, you know, I know we always talk about open world fatigue, and it's true. It really is true. The world's beautiful, lots of loot, cool place to explore, but I think they could have made a few choices. Yeah, definitely. I keep saying it's a lot like Fable, for sure. Like even like the idea of the combat as well. So that's why I'm a little bit worried about the new Fable. Fable, if you look back at Fable, we have a lot of great memories with Fable, and that's a good thing. But it was very basic, you know. It was magic, gun, sword. That's it. Like you got like extra swords and that. That was it. Magic gun, sword, magic gun, sword. And it was just very, very like, and that's kind of what's going on with Biomutant. Obviously, it's a little bit deeper than that, but not too much, like puddle size. How was Roger? Roger is good. Roger. All right, Roger. That was fun to do some Subnautica. Dude, this week has been crazy, man. I feel like I'm fighting something. Hopefully it's nothing. I think it's just the weather. It just completely knocked my body out of it. Yeah, Dying Light definitely needs a 60 frames on PS5 already. Like, come on. But that Platinum Edition, that's a great idea. Like, that'll be like their 4th edition of Dying Light, and it is 5 years old now, coming up on 6. It'll be 6 by the time Dying Light 2 comes out, which is pretty incredible. Jesus Christ. But it's a great game. I think it's my favorite zombie game of all time. Like, probably next one after that would be like Dead Rising 2. But yeah, they're great games. I'd love to see Dead Rising come back. But yeah, man, like at the end of the day, everyone's enjoyment of games is going to be different, right? I'll never knock someone if they're running into bugs and they're fucking hating a game, then that's cool. First Word Eater was me doing a different one. Yeah, I jumped ahead too. Me too. Like, the game definitely has so much like teething issues at the start, right? You can tell it's their first game because they didn't know what to fucking do. So I don't know what the hell was going. I don't have my air glider yet, so I can't get a mount. It won't let me get a mount without the air glider, and then it's a random event. So I can see they're already working on a patch for that. They said they're going to cut down the talking at the start, and you know, maybe even like put in some cutscene, because it definitely needs just that little moment. Unfortunately, like as much as we give out about hand holding, sometimes it's a little bit needed, you know. It adds a little bit of direction. Some games really don't need it when they speak for themselves, which is like Dark Souls, which is like, here you go, you're gonna fucking die, bye. Here's 2 messages on the ground, get the fuck out of here. You're done. But the beauty in that game was the learn by dying kind of thing, you know. Killing everything in the game, no seafoods are surviving. Oh my god, nice. Yeah, favorite, yeah. I turned narrator settings all the way down. Yeah. I think they're working on a way of just... Maybe if you turn speech down, it'll get rid of it. I'm thinking of doing that too. My only issue with the narration is he talks over the gibberish after it. So I found myself just skipping it and reading it myself because it's too much. It has that weird effect where... do you ever see when people like will have... it's like mic monitoring where you can hear your own voice in your head and it makes you almost speak with a delay. So it breaks your brain. And that's kind of what that's like. Or if 2 people are... You know, in other games where you'll have... 2 little dialogues will accidentally glitch out and talk over each other. It's like that, but it's intentional, and it just didn't work out as well. They were obviously going for like, ooh, Banjo-Kazooie gibberish at the start, and they were like, ooh, fabled cool British narrator, and then they tried to get both of them. I actually had this issue. I talked about this like it must have been like a year ago now. I'm like, I am so worried about this narrator. If he talks too much, he's gonna ruin the game, and it's kind of yeah. Well, the issue even is not that he talks too much for me. He just blurts out the most random shit at the most random time. He'd just be walking around about to drown, and then he'll just go like, you do realize how important and how dangerous this mission is. And I'm like, what the fuck? So it's just this weird little added stress in that. It's funny. It's definitely a unique game for sure. It's a unique take on open world. But yeah, like things like Greedfall and Elix and games like that. I'm not too sure it's gonna have that much of a lasting appeal or a lasting people will talk about it in years to come. But I hope they get to make more games like that. Good for them. He is random, yeah. I swear to God, jeez. All right, this was a cool little. I think this is separate, but we know that there may be a new Eidos Montreal game coming. Now they're responsible for. The likes of Deus Ex. I would really love a new Deus Ex game. They also helped out in the Tomb Raider games as well, but they are mainly responsible for that. The Tomb Raider games are particularly done by Crystal Dynamics now, but back in the day, Tomb Raider was done by Core. That was the original developer. Then they moved over to Eidos. Now it's Eidos Montreal, but they've mainly been doing Deus Ex games. Now, believe it or not, Deus Ex, the last Deus Ex game was Mankind Divided, and that was in 2016. Almost 5 years ago. So it is time. But this rumor that's been floating around, a lot of Marvel news, Jesus, is that they're actually working on a Guardians of the Galaxy game. I mean, that's kind of crazy. I'd be down for it, you know. Like I said, there was also rumors of an XCOM style strategy Marvel game, kind of like Ultimate Alliance, but with XCOM strategy. That could be cool too. But we'll see. I actually am a big fan of Eidos Montreal. Like, it's just one of those teams that you kind of stick with, and they'll pop up from time to time. I'm like, damn. Now, you know, with things are going on with Avengers the way it is, a publisher like Square Enix would be getting every developer involved to try and write a ship, you know. So yeah, we'll see. You know, if you don't want, you know, these are all rumors. Some of them may end up being true. So if you don't want to be spoiled for E3, this is kind of one of those times. Like I said, from Monday onwards, I'm going to be doing an E3 prediction stream, so that'll be a lot of rumors and stuff. But all the festivities don't kick off till Thursday the 10th, which is just under a week away, and that's going to be rolling into the following Tuesday. So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So like 6 days of just fucking crazy. I'm super excited. I'm going to try and stream as much of it live as I can, even over the weekend, which I don't usually do, but this is Christmas for gaming, so I'm super excited for that. I feel like if we you gotta try and keep your expectations level as you can, you know. Even a lot of the big publishers have come out and said, like, please don't expect this game or that game. But the fact that they mention it, I always say that means that there's a good chance it's coming. You know, if they talk about Dead Island, if they talk about Saints Row 5, but even by saying it's not coming, they still mention it, so it's in development. You know, that's a bigger thing right there. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, so the last thing they've done, what they've been doing since Mankind Divided, is helping out on Shadow the Tomb Raider with Crystal Dynamics. They've also been heavily working on Marvel Avengers, basically, like I said, trying to right that ship that's going on. It's unfortunate because they turned Marvel Avengers into a games as a service game, you know, a looter shooter. It means that, like, these kind of companies like Eidos Montreal, that team, and Crystal Dynamics, that they're bogged down. They're fucking bogged down for years, you know? Whether the game's doing well. If the game does well, you've got the Fortnite effect where that's all they'll work on forever. If the game's doing bad, like Anthem, you've got them working extra hard to fix it, and so you're losing out on other games. Now, the other big thing I would like to see happen is a Soul Reaver remaster. Even the first game, the trilogy, whatever they can do, because that is also owned by Crystal Dynamics. So I was secretly hoping. So this Guardians of the Galaxy rumor is definitely coming out of left field for sure. But there is a good chance that maybe, even though the player base wasn't too happy with Marvel Avengers, that maybe Marvel and Disney, who don't tend to really check in on things, like look what happened with EA, they're not checking in with the player feedback. They just see the money. Like, to let EA run amok with the Star Wars license for that long was possibly the stupidest mishandling of a license I've seen since fucking you know, the early days of EA, when they were just throwing out games, shiting out Harry Potter games and that. But we'll see how things are going. I would love to see them bring back Soul Reaver. I had talked about Soul Reaver being removed from Steam very quietly. They said that it was for an important update, so fingers crossed. At this point, even just a straight up remaster would be nice, because the Steam collection is horrendously ported. It's broken beyond belief. Trying to just get controller support is like trying to work out the meaning of life. It's madness. I've gone into it and it's crazy. And they also have said that, you know, the next Tomb Raider is definitely in development. We're probably like 2 years out for that. But they've said that they want to do a game to bring the old guard, the old Tomb Raider games, and the new trilogy together. So you're going to have that crossover game, which I actually thought Shadow of the Tomb Raider might be, because it looked like she was going back to Peru. But I would love to see, you know, maybe it's a little greedy of me, but I'd love to see them remake the first Tomb Raider with the new engine. Like, we did get an anniversary remake, but I love the new Tomb Raider style, and it would be super cool. They'd have to do it like for like. You can't like be cutting out levels and that. But I'd love to see it. The anniversary is still decent. But yeah, I'd be down for any of that. Like, you have no idea how much control Square Enix has over some of our most beloved like series, which is crazy, you know. It's how it goes. People just see, oh, blah-de-blah company bought this company, and you don't think about it. But the same with, like, what people don't realize about Bethesda and Xbox, they own so many IP right now. Like, Xbox own Doom. Do you understand? They own Doom and Wolfenstein, and oh my, you have no idea. The people have not, it's not really settled in yet, but they're gonna feel it. They're gonna feel the pinch. In the next couple of years, you're going to feel that pinch when Starfield comes out, and Elder Scrolls, Wolfenstein 3, Evil Within 3, Doom, the third Doom. Like, oh my god. I'm telling you, people are going to flip their shit. Anyway, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy game. It could be cool. All just rumors now. We'll see. Like I was saying, we had the Telltale Guardians of the Galaxy game, which was super fun. Managed to capture the Guardians very well, but you know, it's story based. It actually had far more action than most Telltale games. I actually enjoyed the shit out of it, so I'm down for whatever. They're still a great team. Like, a lot of people had their issues with the Tomb Raider series. It was clear that they were probably just been a little bit overworked. You know, there was 3 games, pretty in quick succession. You know, hell yeah. Yeah, he was mansplaining. I love that. That's so funny, Swampy. That's exactly what the narrator was doing. Yeah, I know you're dying, but you need to go check out that cave. Yeah, Jesus. I would too one day. Yeah, Deus Ex, I still think Human Revolution was my favorite. You know, you probably got the old Deus Ex fans who were like, psh, try the old games. But, you know, with System Shock coming back in a big way, maybe we'll get Deus Ex. But Mankind Divided was still a lot of fun. It's just the setting. I much preferred the black and gold of futuristic Detroit to, what was it, Prague? I think it was Prague or something like that. No, it was still great games. Hell yeah. I'd love to see them do something with Human Revolution. I want to replay it. Maybe you could get even just something like a cheeky FPS boost or something. But yeah, I think Mankind Divided was one of those games they really tried to push graphically. Could have sworn I read something about that recently. Yeah, I didn't realize the game was that old. Oh, dude, you have no idea, like, how crazy things are flying by. Speaking of Doom, I tried Necromunda. Yeah, dude! It runs pretty bad. Oh, I'm sorry. Damn it. I want to pick that up because it has a good price on it. That's a Warhammer game, right? It feels like another Doom. I'm trying to like curb my game buys right now. It's insane. Because I just got a Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, which was €85. And I'm like, good God, two normal games. Anyway, so that'll be still fun. But yeah, Necromunda would be super fun to play. Definitely, it's like Doom with metal, more metal. Metal music and just rust everywhere. There's so many of those kind of games coming out. Like Warhammer are just spitting out games every 3 or 4 months now. And then we've got like Baldur's Gate and Dungeons and Dragons coming back in a big way with Dark Alliance. They've got Dark Tide as well, Vermintide. It's just on and on. It's crazy. Vermintide 3 will probably be another one. And you know what's happening as well? I don't know, it's because they're releasing them like at $40, but they're immediately putting them on Game Pass. It's just crazy. So I think we know about Dark Alliance, which I think is coming out at the end of the month, but that's coming straight to Game Pass, which is a remake of the old Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance games, which I fucking loved. So that's cool. I want to play them. But they're also just announced, I think, that they're putting Dark Tide as well. Dark Tide is another kind of co-op shooter. Let me find this for you. But yeah, I think they've just changed all their names to under the Dungeons and Dragons name now. But you can see that it's happening with Riot as well. Like Riot now are trying to bring out more and more different style games under League of Legends and that. So it's really cool. It's interesting times. I always say like they're making billions upon billions. So it's pretty cool that they're finally starting to like put them back into games instead of their own pockets. And like maybe those kind of games are not your cup of tea, you know, but for them to move over to FPSs or TPSs or whatever, all the PS, I fucking hate you. Alright, let me find this. Yeah, Dark Tide, it kind of reminds me of Vermintide, but also Guardians of the Galaxy. Watch this. So this... Does that work? For some reason these players don't like when I full screen. Yeah, this is Warhammer Dark Tide. This was just announced that it's coming to the Game Pass as well. Let me get some gameplay. Sorry, dude. Let me get some gameplay. So it seems to be 4-player co-op. Got some crazy fucking different characters. There's one huge hulking dude. Look at this guy. If he's not meant to be like the Thing or what was Dave Bautista's character in Guardians? It'd be a perfect time to do a Guardians of the Galaxy game because we're going to have the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special coming out and then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, so yeah. Tell you one thing, James Gunn, for a guy who tried to get cancelled, you know, by the internet tried to cancel him, he sure came back. Holy shit, he's also working on like that new Suicide Squad movie. I don't know how they managed to do that, but they're like rebranding and relaunching Suicide Squad. Nothing got to do with the other movie. Crazy. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Jesus. I'm pretty sure I read that. Let me see. There's also mention of Battlefield 6 coming to the Game Pass. There's meant to be a massive announcement tomorrow about a huge Game Pass game as well. Now, they always big up the games, but usually when they big them up like this, it means it's going to cause like controversy. The other one as well, like maybe Tales of Arise, which is coming out in September, may be on the Game Pass. If this keeps happening, I am gonna have to get a Series X because there's no point in me buying an €85 game when it's gonna be on the Game Pass. I mean, I would that'd be like 5 games. I would save So much money. I love the Game Pass anyway, and I have just a bare bones Xbox One. That's what I use to play any Game Pass game. But yeah, you want the shiny for the new shiny. Drax, yeah. Sorry, I'm not really good. I remember him saying that he was probably like doing his last that was probably his last movie. Of course, I picked the one video that's more like about the devs and that. Sorry, just wanted to. This looks pretty cool, right? Definitely got a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe. That's what I had heard. Like, don't hold me to it, because maybe someone got confused with Dark Alliance. Look at that team. Yeah, we're just seeing more and more of these gory games, and I really do feel like it's a knock-on effect from Doom. You know, even Doom 2016. So they would have had like 3 years to work on these games. It's so cool. And these are coming from a series that, like, Warhammer was like a strategy game, and it was more about the little models and stuff, you know? It's like a little, yeah, so it's super cool. Even the old, like, Space Marine games and 40k. Super cool to see this is happening. And they're quality games, you know? A lot of them are released at a nice price as well. Like Necromunda, you could get it for $30 with the PS Plus discount thing. Like, Jesus Christ. Even if it doesn't have much of a story, just to run around and shoot zombies and shit, that's fucking awesome. You'd almost think that was going to start playing. Alright, cool. Sorry, I'm getting way off key. But yeah, let's see how things are going. Super excited. Rumors are coming in hard and fast. That's what she said. Alright, yeah, this is what I was saying about that I think that maybe Horizon Forbidden West may slip to 2022. But it looks like the guys over at Guerrilla have tried, you know, shutting that down and said that it's still on track for 2021. There's a lot of mixed wordage. Like, there was recently an interview done with Herman Hulst, who is basically like he's kind of like this Phil Spencer of Sony. He's handling the portfolio, you know. So if you hear from him, that's the end, you know. And he's kind of he's done a lot of good, like, very PR speech, just like Phil Spencer. So he's kind of not confirming anything really, you know. It's like the teams are going through a lot of challenges right now. Is it delayed? Well, and we just want the teams to do the best, and everything's for the teams. And so you never get a straight answer, because at the end of the day, maybe it's just a tough thing to answer right now. There's just so much going on. I think they're probably all just only truly started back up at full development, you know, in the studios only recently, you know. Until then, it would have been work from home. Probably, like, I see it happening in some countries, but not all countries. But from now on, they probably should just give people the option, you know, of working from home, especially if you are capable. You know, if it's a labor-intensive job, obviously that's not going to work. But yeah, let's see. Game Pass is killing it. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Because of the EA Play stuff. And with EA Play, they always used to do that where you could play it 10 days early. So that could come into effect with Game Pass. And that would be a huge game changer. Jesus. Because that becomes the unofficial, official launch then. I've seen it happen so many times. It's strange. I don't think it's the best practice, because it really does leave others out in the cold. But yeah. Those past few months, Sony's been releasing games on Plus that are Game Pass. Yeah, I noticed that as well. That might be a choice by Sony or the developers, you know, because if Xbox are cutting you a fat check for Game Pass, it'd be nice to get another fat check from Sony, right? That's probably like half the development of a game. Like, no one will ever say how much they're getting paid. Obviously, it's a game by game basis, but it must be a lot, you know. Obviously, it depends like how much of a tenure as well. Like, if it's a 6 months license, if it's a year license. But I'm thinking it's upwards of 6 figures, you know. Apparently, like, with all the lawsuit that was going on with Epic and Apple, a little bit of information snuck out about what Epic wanted to do. They wanted to bring Sony first-party games over to the Epic Game Store, and they were going to pay them $200 million to do that. And Sony said no. Yeet! Hello, how's it going? Hello, Fire Lily. That's mad. $200 million. Damn, you could make a game for that. You could make a couple of games. But now you see Sony are really testing the waters with the PC launches, and they're so worried because everybody's freaking the fuck out. All the really diehard fans are screaming at them like tiny little whingy babies. And then you got people on PC going, yeah, we fixed your game for you. Yeah. It runs 120 frames now. But yeah, we'll see what's going on with Horizon. If it does slip, I'm okay with it. Either way is fine, you know. It's definitely meant to be their big game of the fall. So it just kind of comes down to what Sony are prepared to do. We never know. We never know what they're going to do. I would see Sony Studios and Microsoft Studios come together. That would be really cool. And like Nintendo as well. That'd be really cool. And they could do it like for charity or a special event or something. I agree. Like every now and then when you see those like Olympic games come up, Sonic and Mario, that's brilliant to see. Because for kids just playing those, they're like, yeah, I love Sonic and Mario. But for me, growing up in the Sega versus Nintendo era, that was blood and oh Jesus, that was just tooth and nail, and everybody just fighting each other. What are those? There's some weird sayings. Blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, good God. Good God. And tooth and nail. Everyone's got nail guns. I'd like to see more from State of Decay 3. I think showed that off a good while back, and we got a cheeky little cinematic trailer in the snow with mutated animals. I'd like to see what else they're doing there. It's time. I was saying to people recently, Elaine was playing it, and I said, like, I'd love to see them go more multiplayer, but not full. So maybe, like, do, like, lobbies of 12 people or something. Because they had talked about doing an MMO. It was codenamed Class 4. It was one of the original pitches that got them, basically, with Microsoft on board. And it never came to fruition, but we'll see. I don't know, a full-on MMO sounds great, but every single game that has a massive open world like that in MMO style always turns just toxic. Like, you can't go on GTA Online normally. You go and watch these RP people playing them. You're like, yay, let's go play GTA. And it's like, this is GTA Online at home. Dude flies around in a DeLorean fucking bombing the apartments so you can't even spawn in. Like, so stupid. So things like that. Red Dead as well. Like, Red Dead Online is definitely poised to be like a cool RP server. But you go in there yourself and you get kidnapped and put into a cage for days. Same with Rust. Same with any game. Unfortunately, a game's community seems to be the bigger problem rather than the game itself. What's funny, I finished my Pride Month. Oh, that's so cool! Congrats! I bet it turned out lovely. Ford and GM came together and the engineers to make a 10-speed transmission. More companies. I'd love that. And then it would kind of squash a lot of, like, the beef that, you know, the imaginary beef that they have. But I think most of these companies love that beef because it fans the flames, it fans the sales. They always say they don't like console wars, but when you see them, you know, it's a long time ago since they've done that, but when they did the whole used games thing, Jesus, they knew exactly what they're doing. Some shit-eating grins on their face. It was the best thing ever. It sold 100 million PS4s. The games helped out too. Yeah, you see about the Crisis collection coming out? That's pretty cool. I'm sorry for that. They're doing a little bit of shitty stuff, of course, it being Activision, you know. So people might have bought the Crisis 1 remaster, but now they're doing a collection with the 3 games in it. So you're like screwed, you might have to rebuy it. But I think it was saying maybe that they might sell them separately, hopefully. So Crisis 2 remaster, Crisis 3 remaster. But it's a great series and it definitely deserves it, so I'm glad. We're slowly whittling down the collections that we need just before we truly move on to the next generation. The last one would be Dead Space. We'll see. I think Mass Effect Legendary Edition is sold like absolute crazy, so that's a good sign. It's a long time coming, Jesus. That series needed a remaster like 5 years ago. I think both Sony and MS could make a killer game. Yeah, what would they do? What could they do? What they should do is build like a Smash game together. We had the PlayStation All-Stars. Just get like, imagine like, then you'd really let these little console warriors, you know, get all their frustrations out if they could finally fight Nathan Drake versus Master Chief, you know? Just, oh, finally! I'd be down for that. There is a rumor going around Swampy that Xbox want to put the xCloud and, you know, the Game Pass, really, onto the Switch by this fall. We'll see about that. That would be insane, right? Because Nintendo and Microsoft literally live next door to each other up in Seattle, in Bellevue. Like giant, huge campuses next door to each other. And it's clear that Nintendo of America and Xbox are very chummy, but the issue is always going to be Nintendo of Japan. We'll see, that'd be cool. I think if the Game Pass does get onto every platform, you'd very much start to see the hardware phase out a little bit over, you know, next 10 10, 15 years or something. It's crazy to look beyond that though. You sent it, thank you. I'll have a look. Appreciate you. Alright, cool. We're moving on to some of the last little piece of news. I thought this was nice. I think we knew about this all along, but basically they've been saying that PlayStation are definitely in the market to acquire some more studios. You can see by the picture there, and I agree wholeheartedly that they really should buy Blue Point Games, which recently made the Demon's Souls remake, the Shadow of the Colossus remake. They did the Uncharted collection. They did the Metal Gear Solid HD collection. They're an incredible studio, and it's about time that Sony paid their dues, and I would snatch that talent up before someone else does. I'd say what they're working on next. There was rumors of them remaking Metal Gear Solid. They had a cheeky tweet that referenced Metal Gear Solid, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and I can't remember, there was another one as well. It was a lot of games, and everyone's like, Jesus. There's also a rumor of there being a new Uncharted collection for PC. It's supposed to be called Uncharted Chronicles. It's going to have Golden Abyss, which is pretty much the only side Uncharted game. Maybe probably like Lost Legacy as well. That'd be cool. We'll see. They already kind of let slip about Uncharted 4 going to PC in a recent... it was like a financial call, as they do with it. So funny. I don't know how the media get these financial call, like the leaks. I don't know how they do it, but they do. Can you imagine like them just sitting around a giant boardroom, and you got like Jimmy in the corner with his little tape recorder from fucking, you know, IGN or TMZ or one of them. IGN is the TMZ of gaming. Like, seriously, Jesus Christ. But anyway, yeah, and then obviously Returnal, done by Housemarque recently. They've always been a long-standing, very loyal developer to Sony, you know, which I thought they had already bought them. There was also talks recently, let me see if I can find it. If you don't know the name of them, the Concrete Genie developer, Pixel Opus, I want to say, they just recently talked about how they've moved on to they're developing a PS5 game with Unreal Engine 5, and as you can imagine, let me find it. As you can imagine, like, Concrete Genie already looked like a movie. I hear they're also making this game in collaboration with Sony Pictures. So you might see something, this is why I don't pick fucking IGN, ads everywhere. You might see something where you'll have, like, their next game come out. You know, it might be, you know, Concrete Genie 2. You don't know. It might be a new IP. But you might see them have a movie coincide with it, you know. That's super cool. The fact that they talked about, like, Sony Pictures as well is awesome. Like, if you haven't played Concrete Genie, you're missing out. It's such a beautiful little game, and but quite, like, short. Like, you know, it's got that kind of indie game size, but by no means is it lacking in quality. It's a little bit of magic in a video game. It's pretty special. It's one I'll remember for a long time. So I wish the best for those guys. I really hope that... I think these guys themselves now are actually owned by Sony, or at least their second party anyway. No, I think they're definitely owned by Sony. So yeah, whatever they work on next, I can't wait. Like, you have games like Kenna Bridge of Spirits, which also has that beautiful animation. That's coming out in August, if you can believe that. That's going to be special. I can't wait for that one. So I'm hype as hell, because the one good thing Sony's done recently with movies is their Sony Pictures division with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and what was it, Meet the Mitchells, I believe. I don't know if that's the name of it. That looks amazing too. I haven't seen it yet, but the animation in that looks like a comic book jumping out of the screen. Beautiful. Very talented people. Love me some Uncharted. Yeah, it'd be nice, like, for everyone on PC to get, and then, like, that will really release the floodgates if you've got such a big, well-known Sony series going to PC. It's super hard. There's a lot of people having to eat crow right now, and they don't like to do that. Ben Studio. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. So we know, like, there's been a lot of people wanting a Days Gone sequel, you know? Well, it might be something that would happen in the future. I'm just happy they're working on something big. I'm glad they confirmed that, because the rumor floating around is they were working exclusively on the Last of Us remake, which I thought, like, I'm okay with it. Like, it is what it is. Like, by the time that comes out, it'll probably be 8 years, you know, since, so, you know, even like pushing 10 years, I don't think that's such a bad thing for a remake. Is it a waste of time? No, I mean, people will buy it, it'll be so much money, but is it a waste of resources? I don't know. Like, we obviously always want new things, and I would prefer a Days Gone 2 over a Last of Us remake, but we'll see. I just hope they don't ruin anything, you know. You can tell what they're doing right now. They're trying to eye up a lot of their games with possible shows and movies. And it's something that we all thought Xbox were moving towards, and they fucked that up. We still have not got a Halo movie or TV show from Steven Spielberg that was long rumored. But, you know, Sony are really pushing for it now. You know, we've got the Last of Us show coming out. There's rumors of a Ghost of Tsushima show, a God of War movie. The list goes on and on. Uncharted movie will be a huge... That's going to be a big one, you know. And I really do feel like this is all being pushed from the success of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. As silly as it sounds, that thing has sold like bananas. Like, Sony's not going to push all this unless they can get those Marvel numbers, you know. If these movies start making $1 billion each, that's printing money, easy, you know, even with a budget of 300 million or something. So I could see that. I'm hyped for it, you know. It'll definitely, like, I don't want it to take over from the games either, you know. But it's a whole different studio working on it. But it's interesting times for sure. So yeah, I don't think they're too worried about delaying games. They know that the PS5's you know, selling more than the PS4 did, and look how that turned out with 110 million PS4s. So everything's on track. If they keep going, if they can put like a couple of big games out a year, like what they've been doing over the last couple of years, that's huge. You know, what they're doing now is they're clearly falling, resting on kind of what they brought out with the launch. You know, so Spider-Man Miles Morales, Demon's Souls, Returnal, now Ratchet and Clank's coming out, and maybe Horizon Forbidden West. So it's still, you know, there's still a lot of games. Like recently, there was new stock in the UK, for the PS5. And there was just so many people hungry for it that it pushed Spider-Man Miles Morales into the charts again, you know. So it's crazy. That's the way things are right now. It's pretty crazy. That's a great game. Short and sweet, beautiful. Yes, definitely a nice one to test out, a new machine. Exactly what I did. Alright, cool. I think that's all the news for today. You know, news just keeps happening as we talk. That's always the way. It's all good. With E3 coming up, it's going to be exciting. So, basically, next week is just going to be hype as hell. So, like I said, we're going to start off Monday. We're going to be kicking off with Ratchet and Clank 2016 as a kind of a little, you know, little taste test before Ratchet and Clank Ripped Apart on Friday. Thursday, we will be having all of the kickoff for E3. That'll be starting with the Summer Game Fest with Jeff Keighley. A little bit of cringe, a little bit of news. That's Jeff Keighley right there. Apparently Jeff Goldblum's gonna show up, so all the Jeffs. It's spelled differently, but they're all Jeffs, apparently. There you go. So that'll be interesting. That'll carry on all the way through the weekend. E3 2021 live. I'll be doing my E3 predictions daily dose as well, so that'll come up. A little bit of pre-E3 news. So yeah, keep an eye out. Keep an eye out. I'm super excited. Now we're gonna move over to a little bit of Biomutant. Thank you for joining me for the daily dose, though. It is Christmas for video games. I love it.